We're live. What's tabletop time? Oh, I did it wrong. I forgot again.
You forgot the words?
I've only been doing it for like 4 years.
Ken Brockman.
I thought it was we're live with tabletop time. That's what I've been doing all this time.
I'm sorry to break it to you, Dave.
Dave, that's my name. What's yours?
I'm Elle.
I'm Murray.
I'm Jen.
I'm Jazza.
And today
We face many
Lucha?
consequences.
we're going to do like a Mad Lib.
Vera, nice of you to join us today. But in our opening, aside from thanking our patrons for making this possible and supporting us, we also have some exciting news, and that is that we have a kicks. No, we have. We want to kick you over to our backer kit page,
Who have our backs.
which is currly successful. And
What's this? One of the hottest projects on the front page.
Did we just tick over a goal?
No. For $388 away.
Ooh,
Oh,
we're
okay.
close.
All right,
We're
we're
close.
close.
So,
Say yes.
no, we did it. It's my baby. I don't know. I'm excited about it.
Tell
so
us
I'm
about
very
your baby.
specific. These are the Kindred of the Abyss. They're a range of wargaming miniatures. And also the first faction in a miniature world that we're creating. And you know what? It feels good to be able to say the first faction now, because they were the tentative first faction, but the project has been funded. We're going through stretch goals and expanding it out. We're unlocking not only more additional minis that you can get in the pack, but also goals that will help us continue to develop the story. Art from Alicia, more art. Lore from me. I'm going to get to pen some writing. That's exciting.
Maybe a game, maybe.
Well, we haven't hit there yet, but some game dev time, dedicated game dev time is on there.
Look at faces. There's our faces.
It's happening.
There are more stretch goals to unlock, and your support will not only help tabletop time, but it will also help the beginning of like an entire game universe thing that we're trying to build. So
Now,
Get your
for those who
minis
don't have STL printing capabilities, because it's an STL
Yes.
backer kit, is there a tier that people can just sort of support the vision of what we're doing?
There is just a supporter tier.
Woohoo.
But also, I would recommend reaching out. There are a whole bunch of people, libraries, public libraries even do this in a lot of places now, 3D printing services.
Really?
Friends, if a lot of people, someone in their hobby community, one person will have a printer. If you offer them a few dollars, I'm sure they'll print out some models for you.
Some at a hobby shop or some such game store.
Yes.
Probably will at least know someone.
Yeah, and we will also be doing a merchant add-on tier soon, which will mean that there will be officially licensed people who can print the models, and you can buy printed models from those people. Currently doesn't exist, but the thing with that is that'll only happen after the campaign, because obviously they need to have their files fulfilled before they can print them. But that's...
We did a thing.
That's
Yay!
awesome. So go check that out. It is on Backer Kit, and it is on the home page because you guys are supporting it. We really appreciate it. It does make all the difference, like our patrons do. We wanted to share that with you because that's very exciting. It means a lot to us.
Well, hey.
Yay.
You know
Thanks,
what
guys.
else means a lot to us? A little bit of play.
LUCEVERA.
Me.
Bianca.
Good middle name. I like it.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah.
Named after my great grandmother. Blah, 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 blah.
The third.
Yes. Obvious.
All right.
Twice removed for obvious reasons.
Okay.
So...
Removed twice teeth.
Last week
Tonsils.
ended with a bit of a display, a bit of a show.
Oh, bit of a
We did name the
spring.
episode shit show, didn't we?
So, I won't recap heavily what happened at this episode. I'm sure a lot of people have watched
God,
it.
that thumbnail.
Watch it.
Go and watch it.
Yeah.
Seen the thumbnail.
Third Murray thumbnail, I should point out.
Oh my God.
In 4 episodes. Yeah.
Alicia,
Yeah.
you...
Okay, we need less Murray in our thumbnails. Is that what you're saying?
Hey.
Yeah.
Murray.
We might get more viewers.
Murray's the picture man. What the
We need
poster
more.
man.
I feel like I've only been in like 2 of them out
Yeah,
of
we
like
need more
20.
Dave.
And I feel like my photo shoot had some bangers in it. So
You're in the live one every time. That's
true.
We go live.
yeah, but
I agree.
It's so ephemeral.
I'm
You
not
know,
gonna say-
like tears in the rain.
I'm not going to say the world doesn't need more Dave, especially in a giant
Puffy.
puffy cravat.
With the rose.
I have a
With the
Jacobean
rose.
ruff.
It's great.
gorgeous.
Anyway, we should continue. Sorry.
So I won't go through it, but we will commence. However, tonight the party is very split. So I'm happy for you all. I want you to pick like who you want to go first, because honestly, you are all split.
I think we should do this the only way that Roleplay deserves.
You can roll a dice.
Let's roll a dice.
Yeah.
Let's go D20 for this one. I got 3.
Do we want to put the dice cam on?
But is low good or bad?
You're the GM. You decide. Hold it in your head. Say it. I don't know.
No, I want.
That's
I know you rolled a 3.
The 20 is a winner,
The first
right?
person in the live chat that says low is first or high is first.
you
The
guys
first
roll.
one is
I'll
what
go
we're doing.
Okay, all right.
It's,
Okay.
what did you get?
15.
15.
13.
13. Mm-hmm. So this will be your order one way or the other, inverse or otherwise.
Good way to test latency.
Phil
too.
says, I think Jazza goes first. Lorenzo might not be able to hold on for too long.
17.
I don't know if that
I
counts
don't think
as the
holding on
first
is an
person.
issue anymore.
Hanging in there?
I think you let go.
Tickle Duck said high first.
Okay.
High first.
High first.
So who got what?
What did you get, Jen?
17.
17.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's
Starting off with
Leone
Leone
first.
Which
We are
is
actually going clockwise.
Leone, Arvin, Bianca, Jazza.
My stream deck
Leone.
is still broken.
Lorenzo.
Nice.
So just
What?
we need to fix that. We need to remember to fix that.
Oh, yeah, we
It's-
should
it's
probably
just,
do that.
It's constantly on like the logo, and I can't
Well-
do anything with it. But
you're at the mercy of us tonight.
it's fine. We can. There's 3 other stream decks at the table.
dang
I can just
Yeah.
lay low and relax.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can tune out. You don't
It
have to do
is.
anything.
So as you're split, a few hours pass. In this time, Leone, you continue to expo your weapon. Arvin is taken away. Lorenzo is thrown out. Bianca doesn't return. And for the remainder of the expo, you and the All Trades Assembly listen to accusations, accolades, questions, interest feigned and otherwise, and ridicule. You receive more attention than you had received or had expected to receive. There is a parade of nobles asking about your secrets, asking if it was a show, if it was fake. People are accusing it of you of being fake. They're not interested in the ballista anymore. All conversation is about the potion. There's still a few people, you're still showing it off, but you know, the interest is mostly focused on that.
Can I just be like, can I interest you in a showing of my ballista?
And some of them say yes, but
Great.
most of them want to know
Just to get close and ask questions.
about the miraculous healing potion.
Sure.
There is no way to conceal the information, as the entire All Trades Assembly, everyone there finds out within a matter of 10, 15 minutes, pretty much 5 different accounts of what had happened, each more graphic than the last.
Great.
And at the end of an exhausting day, you can pack up. Is there anything in particular you want to do? Anything you want to see? Anything you want to check? Any guilds? This is kind of, you're the only one in the party remaining with an opportunity to kind of like gather any information or see anything or do anything or talk to anyone at the expo.
Has it quieted down?
Towards the end of the day,
Fair
it starts to
bit?
quiet down.
Okay,
Yeah.
I would like to do like a good round of. I know some people probably packing up and have maybe gone home, but that's okay. I just want to sort of do the rounds and see what I can see of other people's inventions, and just kind of get an idea of what's out there. Does that make sense?
Okay. The majority of the inventions that you see are all, make an investigation check. I think that makes the most sense. I often do that. I like start explaining. I'm like, wait, we're playing a role-playing game.
Halfway through.
The game part. 2 successes.
yeah.
Okay.
I'm very tired.
Everything feels safe. Most of the things that the guilds are expoing, you have a suspicion are not their finest work, with a couple of exceptions. You feel like they are strategically catering their presentations to the crowd. There are nobles present, and they are thus sort of showing the best case of how their invention can be used for nobles. There are displays, the Anatomists Guild, for example, is merely presenting a document it's effectively justifying their work. So one of the controversial things the Anatomist Guild is occasionally given permission to do is actually do autopsies, which is, it's considered a little bit wrong, but they have unique permission to do autopsies to cut up human bodies with the permission of the body, blah, blah, blah. Or if there's an illness, whatever.
Yes.
With
Go ahead, mate.
with sort of like with reason, but what they've actually produced is they've produced sort of a book that they are presenting that's kind of a popularized version of anatomy, where
Can I look at it? Is it open? Is there a copy for?
Yeah, you can look at it. Yeah, absolutely.
Great. Yeah.
They show it to everyone.
Yeah,
so
sick.
it's basically just you have now seen some violent action. It's kind of like a romanticized something that would make a noble who bought it look learned and smart, and they would get information from it, but it's definitely not aimed at physicians. It's aimed at people who just want to be like, yes, I understand the human body and I'm intelligent and have gained this information.
I get
lots of sketches and drawings. And
Okay.
things like that.
Is it for sale?
Not here. So this is like they've just produced it and they're going to be making it. But in LUCEVERA, there's no printing press.
Yeah.
Books especially, it's very expensive. It's out of your price range.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, sick.
Beyond that, you also, of course, see the Astronomy Guild, who look at you still not very pleased, where they have their device to see the stars. They also had a flying balloon and the launch of Peter Sancto's Balloonists Guild, which happened, which was very exciting. And there's a constant small crowd around that asking to see how it works. No, we can't launch it again.
It's done.
It only had enough gas for this. You also see a semi-destroyed stand of a firework launcher, the man who blew up his own display.
Does it have like a banner or any, like, what was it meant to be?
I mean, you can go up and talk to him.
Oh, he's still there. Yeah.
He's like packing up and
Please.
Cool. You'd like to walk up?
Yeah. Hello.
Hello? And you look in front of you and you see he's a man. He seems to be late 20s, but where
Does he have a picture?
he does actually. He seems to be like late 20s, but where he would have had where he would look younger, he looks older because patches of his hair have been burnt off in this experiment up the front. He's got sort of ginger hair.
Bad.
He's charred and burnt from his experimenting today. You think he might be missing a finger.
Oh dear.
Well, he's
that's
done a lot
dangerous
of experimenting.
Yeah.
And it looks like at some point his nose has been broken as it's sort of bent crooked in
my
one
goodness.
direction. He definitely has a few burn scars and things, but overall, through that, he has sort of like a smile on his face and he's happy as you approach and he looks you up and down and with a very quick assessment, looks down. Oh, fireworks as well.
Yes. Well, sometimes.
Oh, well, did you see my display earlier?
I saw something.
This was one of my best ever. Look, maybe I got a little bit ambitious, but, I think if you don't shoot for the stars, you'll never reach the moon.
I have a friend who has a very similar mindset to you. I was I'm very short and I was caught up in the crowd, so I couldn't really see anything. What exactly was your invention?
Fireworks.
Oh, I see.
Yes. Look, I don't want to. There's alchemy involved, and there's also, a bit of physics and science, and it all combines into a package that. Well, it sounds like you're on the journey as well. You get it. You've got a little whiz bang on your waist.
Yes.
Yes. So I do that, but bigger, and I mix colors in, and I want to make. I want to make the sky alight with color and wonder. So when people look up and see my work, they see Pietro and they know genius and they know my work and it inspires them to do work of their own.
Interesting prospect. Why did it blow up today?
Just a minor miscalculation. Component A, component B, maybe I put double component B in because I thought more color, more vibrant. Turns out that was the high explosive.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, well, that happens. You know, you don't make progress without, getting a few, serious burns. And you see he's got like a fresh bandage on part of his head that's like got some like pus coming through from a burnt skin. So it's going all pussy.
If you don't mind me asking, sir, what means do you use to launch your fireworks?
Oh, that is a fiercely guarded trade secret. Perhaps if you join the Rocketry Guild, you can find out.
Interesting. I think I'm good for now, but I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you. I'm doing well. I mean, I work well with the guild. In fact, they give me these kinds of jobs. None of the masters came, actually. They heard I was demonstrating and unfortunately they had scheduling conflicts and they couldn't be at the stand.
Oh no, that is a shame.
Nevertheless, despite my setback, I impressed a few, and I even had a lady caller, a noblewoman who wanted to see my fireworks for her personal soiree.
That's wonderful.
So that's a win.
That's great. I didn't catch your name, sorry.
Pietro.
Pietro, I am Leone.
Well, you know what? For a member of the craft, and he points down at the firework, you can just call me Sparks. Like the fireworks. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, if you're ever in town and near the guild, you come look me up.
Sounds
If you ever
wonderful.
need to blow something up or buy some fireworks, I mean, hey. I always need money for more experiments.
I may venture down your road.
Good. I look forward to seeing you. What was your name?
Leone.
Leone. Well, young lady, have a splendid day looking at all the less impressive displays. See, they didn't bother bringing their A game like Pietro did.
I will give him a wave and walk
Cool.
off.
Head off.
That's
And,
great.
there's
Go
a
back.
whole bunch of other fairly mundane things. Again, there's an extra soft cushion. The Carpentry Guild has built a chair, and the chair is excellent for sitting for long hours.
Great.
It's got a little...
That sounds very impressive.
There's a lot of things like that, but in
great.
the realm of innovation and invention, they just don't feel that good.
Yeah. Leone, the entire time, Leone also keeps like patting her pocket to make sure that the cartridge is still in there. Yeah.
It was leaving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's basically it. I'll head back to Dolorosa.
Okay.
Who was next?
Well, as you get to the end, Dolorosa and everyone have packed up, and she says, did you see anything you like?
I like, is that what she said?
Yes.
I mean, there was some interesting stuff, but I think that the biggest marvel was probably Arvin's, to be honest.
Oh,
Why?
I don't agree.
Oh. Why not, miss?
And she just smiles at you. I just don't think his was the most impressive.
Okay.
I mean,
Does she know I got the thing?
built it.
No, I got the War Master.
She was there when that
She was
happened.
there. Okay,
Yeah,
cool. I
yeah.
wasn't sure. Yeah.
And she notices you fiddling with it, and she's like, hold on to that. And then she says, did you also see they made a man fly?
Oh, the big balloon?
Very impressive.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. I
Libero
guess.
has his work cut out for him.
Celeste too.
Celeste, I hope she lives to see it finished. And now, as you all start to head back, we can move on to the next person, which was whom?
That's
Hello.
Arvin.
Arvin. These are all written in a different order, my notes. So I'm just...
Excuse me.
Being led through long corridors.
Arvin is led through long interior corridors of a castle
No. Yep. There we go.
by the Duke.
For our podcast listeners, Dave is trying to prompt the imagery.
We don't have Duke.
What? Ah, that's Jazza with the Duke of Hazard. Boom! Hey, there you go. Okay. You were taken into a fairly opulent room. It almost feels like you know what? You were taken into the throne room.
Whoa.
Wow.
All right.
You are flanked by 4 royal guard and the Duke as you walk into the throne room.
Yeah, Arvin goes somehow slightly paler than usual, eyebrows up a bit. I don't think there would be any reason that I had ever seen the interior of a throne room.
No, not the throne room. And you walk up the long stone corridor, feet sort of clip-clopping on that polished stone. There's big rugs, tapestries hanging down. It's beautiful. There's like sconces with scented flames blowing in the wind. There's no sconce with cream, but there are sconces. There's oil paintings on the far wall of the royal family and a line of kings. There are 2 thrones, the one for the king and one for the queen, standing at their head. And to the side of one of the 2 thrones, there is a 3rd throne. It's down a step and it's smaller than the other 2. And as you walk up the steps of the throne, like towards the thrones and past them, you note that the Duke sort of slides his hand along the arm of the smaller chair. Make a knowledge check.
Okay. Almost. There we go. Knowledge. All right. 3.
3 successes. And you know enough to know from context clues and your knowledge of how the kingdom works, that is likely his throne. And the purpose of that is he is the Duke of Allegrano and the Duke of Allegrano Castle. And while this is the seating home of the king and queen, as effectively the steward whenever they are abroad on business, and also the Duke of the region, he also has a high level of authority in this court, in this castle's court, but he can't sit in the king's throne. So he basically has his own like doggy throne off to the side. It's like a smaller throne.
It's like a steward's throne.
Literally, Phil Brush said, for the royal pooch.
Yeah, so you walk on up and you walk past the throne room and towards one of the various antechambers that lead off the back, which you now realize you are in the royal keep. So this is now past the nobility, past where the steward of the castle. So there's 2 different things, by the way, steward and steward. Steward is in the political role. Steward is in someone who is a caretaker. But yes, so
are we going like same level or like
oh,
up
you've been
or
ascending
down?
as well. You've been ascending.
Okay, Arvin is happy with ascending, not descending.
Okay. And you are taken into what you can only describe as a large office. It's basically a sitting room. There's books, ample space, multiple chairs, like quite comfortable lounges, seats. There's a big window and a curtain looking out on the grounds. And I think a reading room or a drawing room, it might be called from a classical sense. But also clearly one that's for royal use. And in particular, you imagine this is the Duke's sort of office. And you all walk in. 2 of the guards stand outside the door and 2 of the guards stand inside the door. He walks behind his desk, sits down, and gestures to a chair across from him.
I'll walk woodenly over to the chair and sit down.
He looks up at the guards. You may go. One of the guards inclines their head as if to question that. And then he just gives a nod and you hear the sound of well-made armor clinking as they step out of the room and the door closes. And the Duke sits quietly across from you. And in front of you, he begins to take a crystal decanter and pour himself a drink. He then places a crystal glass and offers you a drink as well.
All right. Can I maybe not make a check, but wildly go through the thoughts of, is etiquette mentally I probably shouldn't, but then they'll be rude to, refuse the Duke. Perhaps I should.
You make an intuition check to work out how good you vibe the situation.
1.
Oh dear.
Actually, you know what?
Very well.
I've already used fast thinker this day. It's been a long damn day.
Yeah.
1. When someone offers you a drink, it's generally polite to take it. You don't see much past that.
Sort of very awkwardly, sort of whole bow forwards in affirmation in what I hope is sort of just a very casual yes, why thank you.
He leans back in his chair. There is a quiet that is just sort of moments ticking by as he sips his glass and takes a mouthful.
Arvin's like transfixed on the Duke, but also sort of catches himself just like quizzically looking around the room at like everything that's in there.
It's opulent. It's gorgeous. Everything from the furniture is like antique. But I mean, well, no, the furniture is not antique. What we would think of antique. The furniture is fantastic, like brand new carved wood. Like it's amazing.
It's glossy.
It's all mahogany. And there's big books, and he lifts a silver cloche off a little bowl on the table and picks a date out, and
Oh, yummy.
he smiling gestures to you if you'd like a date.
Sort of thinks, Arvin thinks about what he's seen today and sort of, actually, no.
Puts the top back. Was it real?
I feel it would take quite a lot more effort to fake that than create something genuine.
Show it to me again.
I would happily show you again. However, that was all I currently had.
Convenient. Make a charm roll. Let's just gauge how genuine you seem to be being from his perspective.
That's a critical
5 and 5.
Yes.
That's the sweeping success.
That is a swimming success. Well
That's on
done.
the spirit.
Ayo.
Look at you, charming man.
Extra spirit.
Good timing.
+1 spirit, and he succeeds in a spectacular fashion.
Oh, stonks.
Whatever that means. He comes across as extremely
He grows
sincere.
a feather.
The Duke leans down and looks at you across the table over the rim of his glass that he's sort of holding in a goblet-like grip just in front of his face, turning the glass in his hand, and his eyes are boring through you. Takes a soft sip.
If it pleases you, I also only finished the final concoction this morning, sire.
I'm inclined to believe you. I must admit, I
Visible
wasn't
relief.
expecting to. You had the air of a charlatan.
Thank you.
That's not a good thing. But you seem honest enough, and by the state of you, you seem like the kind of scientist who has, or I should say alchemist, you seem like the kind of alchemist who has given himself to his work.
Sort of, maybe coming up to speed with what he's implying, I sort of lean forward in my chair. I am originally from Del Toro, sire. My parents were doctors during the war.
Yes. Rubs his sort of does what I'm doing for viewers, but rubs his fingers across his eyebrows, like relieving tension in that sinus area. And as his fingers come away, you do note the slightly discolored skin underneath, as he has just rubbed off a little bit of makeup without thinking about it.
Classic.
This has been a untempered pursuit of mine for many a year.
It was a tragedy what happened there.
It was, thank you.
Good people too. Many of my friends and many of my men on the battlefield, well, they were sent there for treatment. Yes, it was known for its physicians.
Yes. I would certainly acclaim to such. biased though I may be. So,
You would have been just a boy.
yes, quite young. I was merely a assistant to my family's business.
An assistant. Oh, then you two saw the same horrors that I did.
Regrettably, I think so, sir.
He picks up another date and crunches into it. There's like a little pop of the fruit bursting as he violently bites into it, and then somehow managing to do it in a dignified way, spits the pip into like a little container, but there's a force behind it that's like a little pff. Seldarans. Loathe the name. Well, that has clearly tempered you into a man of work ethic, if nothing else. And your parents?
Lost, sir.
Forgive the interrogation, and I'm sorry for your loss, but I like to know what makes the man I'm sitting in front of. Parents lost when?
Just after the war, sir. Disease.
Terrible thing. Well, nevertheless, it is past, and the kingdom is at peace, thanks to my brother. So, unfortunately, you are fooled. A genius, clearly, but a fool. Do you realize what you've done?
Potentially drastically changed the face of alchemy and the temperament of such for all the world.
Ever the optimist. I like that. I like optimism. Unlikely. What you have done is shown your hand. You are a young, barely a man, from a small town with a life's work, who has swum into a pool of sharks and shown your ass. Every single guilder down there that believed you will be coming for you now.
Sorry to interrupt, but I believe it was I that showed my eye.
Tried so hard not to say anything.
And he says, and I won't even speak to the disgusting display, but you can almost thank it for obfuscating what I saw. There are as many people watching your clown of a friend shame himself in front of the finest of this kingdom that they might not have seen with their own eyes that your damn elixir actually worked.
Yeah. I certainly elected to create a scene. What occurred was beyond my wildest predictions.
Was that your idea? Or was it your idiot friend?
Let us call me an optimistic fool once more and say it was half my idea.
Loyal too. A good trait. Well, it is a good thing the Queen Mother hadn't done her circuit, or she would have hung him. That display on the castle grounds. Anyway, what remains is your potion. Can you make more?
Yes.
Give me a lot of goats.
I would have to source the materials, but yes, it can be done.
You walk a thread. And I don't even know your name.
Arvin, sire. Arvin Shiruji.
He leans forward and extends his hand toward you. For the benefit of grace, and assuming you do not, Emilio Mirto. And he offers his hand. What do you do with his hand?
Describe how he's offered. Is it sort of like a kiss the ring or like handshake?
You got that 1 on intuition before, frustratingly halfway between. So it kind of is like, it's kind of like at the 45-degree angle, coming towards you with slightly bent fingers, neither vertical like a handshake or horizontal like a kiss the ring.
You know what? I'm going to sort of
Kiss shake.
yeah, high five them. No, I'm going to go hedge my bets as a medical practitioner, sort of a craftsman, as it were. I'm going to go for a handshake.
Do the Maori thing of like you put your nose against theirs and you breathe in their spirit. It's like very.
Just don't suck his fingers.
I'm sure that's royally appropriate.
As your hands get closer to each other, he sees your hand extend, which could mean that you're about to grip his hand and kiss his hand. That happens. Mm-hmm. His hand turns upright and he firmly grips your hand in a handshake. Either would have worked.
Visible relief.
But it says something about his, like it's all mind games and status plays.
Yeah.
So, Arvin Shiruji. Pleasure to meet you. If circumstances could have been better, I would have preferred it. Had you privately demonstrated that for me, that would have been the best outcome, but I imagine you couldn't fathom how to arrange such a meeting, and you likely would have been right, to be fair. Arvin, as I was about to say, you walk on a knife's edge now. And at the end of that journey, life or death, not just for the people you want to treat, but for you.
I understand. At least I can say that I have been looking at much death in my life. So I am no stranger to it. But I will take your words to heart.
Do you understand the risks? Why?
I believe so. However, the medical man of science in me wishes for this to be seen in the world. Whether that was the incorrect decision, I am happy to fall on my own sword. I wish to help people that I could not help, that I failed to help. So I will try to help more in the future.
I cannot aid you. Not now, not after what you've done. At least not publicly. But a child who saw the horrors of the war, a physician's child, I believe that you intend to help people and heal people, but you know the kingdom is terrified of science, of alchemy, of advancement. The king is terrified of it. My fear is not just the Guilders, but your overt display with its showing, but more importantly, its lack of tact with who was shown will mean that this may be discussed. And if it is discussed, it may become rumor. And if it becomes rumor, it may become scuttlebutt. It may become court talk. Then the conversation of the gentry in drawing rooms like this, and then something to stay up at night and ruminate on, and then something to contract guilders to find answers for, and then something immoral, and then something wrong, and then something that goes against the order of nature as it has been established and the operation of this kingdom as the king decrees it, and then you will be hung.
I see.
It is not just competition. As I said, you are in a pond full of sharks now. So, you have been scolded today, Arvin. In fact, when you leave, you will leave head bowed, shamed, and traumatized as the Duke so cruelly admonished your actions and cast you from the castle grounds, banned for life, never to return. That is how you will carry yourself. Should you be willing to commit yourself to a reasoned patron, he smiles softly, his self-compliment. I have a winter home up north towards the land of the Norhen. An estate I retire to for contemplation, and I have some staff there. If you can collect your things, gather what you need, and journey north, well, you could perfect your research with less eyes upon you. You would have some resources and correspondence privately from me, but it is only due to your sincere honesty and my read of your character that I would put myself at this risk for your invention. So, Arvin, do you have anything to say for yourself?
Only, sir, that I will endeavor to play my role to your approval.
He looks down, pulls out a quill, and starts jotting on a piece of paper, taking notes, so he's sure, as the DM, also take notes.
My throat is dry.
He says, 3 days hence, at noon, when the sun is high in the sky, a cart will leave Allegrano, heading on a long journey towards my estate. If you are on this cart, you will have chosen my patronage and to have committed yourself to the Duke of Allegrano to research. Still, as a member of your guild, I'm not asking you to compromise guild dues. I respect them. But you will be heading to my estate with the intention of perfecting your science by any means necessary. If you are not, my offer is rescinded. This conversation never happened, shy of my harsh chastisement of your behavior and banning you from the castle grounds. Do you understand?
I do.
Well, Arvin. He goes over to the shelf. He pulls out a small bottle, looks at it. It's in sort of like a crystal, beautiful glassware. Cork in the top, wax seal over the top, a label handwritten by scribes that looks gorgeous, and he hands it across the table to you and he says, "This is the finest whiskey in the land, and it is reserved for those who have shown courage. We drank toasts on the battlefield to victories won and companions lost. Take it. Either way, as a gesture of my commendment of your efforts and in the memory of your parents and their work for my men.
I genuinely bow now, wholeheartedly, as a deep sign of both gratitude, but also that affection held towards the Duke, the patron of the arts for so many years.
He stands. He gives a small nod to you, the most bow someone of your station would expect from a noble. Forgive the pageantry. It is unbecoming of me. Guards! He shouts out, and 2 guards burst in the room, and he says, "Take this disgusting example of a guilder off my grounds and do not allow him to return!"
Make sure that everything is away in my bag.
Yeah. And they oblige, and 2 guards run up and grab you by the elbows and sort of shun you out. And he says, "Don't make a scene of it. Take him by the back exit." They nod. And then as soon as they'd sort of dragging lessons to a guided walk as they leave out of the thing, and saying, "Don't make a scene of it." And you leave, marched out of the castle and not allowed to return.
Yep. And I play the part and go head bowed.
And shamed.
Shame.
I would just sink and let them carry me. You just get a free carry.
Yeah.
Just flop.
And the Duke in his office, once the door closed, leans back down to his notes and he writes, "Thank you, Bella Hane, for your membership on YouTube." Okay.
Very meta.
Cool. Who was next?
Quick question to the DM rather than, the Duke. 3 days' time at noon on the cart.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
That's correct. 3 days' time, noon on the cart.
A la carte.
Just making sure I have that correct.
Run home, Charlie. Don't look back.
Be very silly if
would like to.
Arvin failed initiating the quest because his silly marionette master wrote down the wrong thing.
Time slips away.
So are we picking up with Bianca?
Yes.
Bianca,
Yes.
where we left you, you were being asked to go and speak to your father by one of his fearful attendants.
Mm-hmm.
And
Hurriedly being escorted through the halls, I assume.
you were escorted to the halls, not to the balcony he was overseeing from, but to his private office, where you were discarded, and with a flick of the hand, like a disgusted flick of the hand to his servant, they leave the room and the door shuts, and he's pacing back and forth behind his desk.
Bianca's chin is jutted out a little bit, but she's it's definitely trembling. Despite how hard she's trying not to.
Cavalier,
Sir?
explain that embarrassing display on my castle grounds. Explain why you stayed the hand of the royal guard under order of the Duke, and explain how you did it all while masquerading as my daughter.
I enforced some control in the situation which was getting out of hand, which is exactly what you have taught me to do.
So you taught control. You allowed a clown to defecate himself in front of the nobility.
That was not my intention, but the Duke's attention was already drawn to us. Would you rather I stayed and do nothing, and just be shamed? At least something positive could have come out of it.
You could have separated yourself from those filth. There was no need for you to be tied up in this. You are to audit the guild, and you could have written, "They are filth." That is a simple report on your audit. Close them down. They are gutter scum.
I think I've already been affiliated enough with the guild that would not have spared me or our family.
You think, if only you thought more like your brother, you would think more correctly. Well, Cavalier, the DM is going to ask you. I would like you to make a either an authority, a charm, not really deception roll.
Jesus.
Your choice, basically to make your case in a mechanical sense, because we can roleplay some sweet angry dad as much as we want, but you know, I don't know how good Bianca is at batting her eyelids.
Trauma.
Gee, I mean, I'm gonna go for an authority,
Okay,
which feels
challenge level 5.
dramatic. to,
Challenge level is
challenge
5.
the authority on authority.
Fight the
Good luck.
bully with facts.
Good luck. I roll.
Oh, that's a definite no.
Okay, he's
That's a 2.
he's so unhappy.
Yeah.
He seethes with a fury that like quiets the room. It feels like candles flicker, and I guess no matter how many years come between you when you're still young and in your 20s and he's such a powerful man, it's not just him being your father. There's also the fact that he's the steward of the castle, a baron. He's carrying his weight and swinging it like a bat towards you. He's not staying his hand, and you've heard him talk to people like this, and you've very rarely heard him talk to family like this. So this is like a big smack. Bianca, I was happy to let you prove yourself. I was happy to believe your years wasted failing to achieve results in academia would lead to a different profession that perhaps you had some knack for, especially after Roberto spent so many years training you in the sword. Am I to doubt you're skilled with that after all as well? I had thought I could trust at least that you would respect the family name, honor us, and act in a sensible way. But it seems that I need to manage your behavior. So here's what you will do. You will fail the guild. You will cast them out. You will strip their license, because that is the punishment for offending a D'Aquila. But you will reclaim what you have taken from me, because I saw what that little show attracted attention to. I saw it. That man was healed.
You see now why I wanted it to be seen.
Yes, I believe you were right in your assessment of its value. That much I can give you credit for.
You would shut down the guild responsible for it.
Yes.
What if they can make more?
We will make more.
And when have you ever done alchemy, Father?
I don't need to do it myself. What I want you to do is simple. Find out exactly how it is made. Take the recipe, the methodology, everything. Gather it. Take it for our family. Bring it to us, and we will hire the best alchemists in the land. And we will be the patrons of the greatest discovery to land in LUCEVERA ever.
If I do this, I think there can be no doubt my commitment to the crown, to my job, and to this family.
You will mend my broken heart, Bianca.
You know what I gave up for this position. I stopped all the frivolous pursuits that you told me to. Is this the last request that I have to follow through with?
It is the only request that actually matters. So, youngest, prove yourself. If you do, you find your brother won't be the only lieutenant in the Cavaliers.
You can do that.
Of course. I'm the steward of the castle. I'm a baron. And me and DM, bad boy.
The Duke.
Me and D and Bad
Me and Lord Durand, who is the master of the Cavaliers, are childhood friends, and you know that's true.
Not the guy that is my boss of the Cavaliers.
No. He is the marshal of the Cavaliers. He's
big
the boss of the
boss.
Cavaliers,
Okay.
and he is literally a childhood friend of your father. They grew up on the castle grounds together, playing and stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
It is the only. He turns, paces towards his desk, grabs a glass bottle. You almost hear the crack in his hands with anger, and then he unclenches his knuckles and sort of pushes down this rage that he's containing. And he turns back to you. My entire life has been ensuring that our family has the best of everything.
I know.
I only do it because I love you. But you are young. You are blinded by idealism, and you do not understand the weight of political machinations, the ways in which the nobility could chip away at our status. They are as dangerous as a dagger in the back with their words. If they use any of our weakness, which we cannot show, against us, it could mean our families, well, our status diminished, our importance fading, and our opportunities gone. I know you do not mean to make mistakes, Bianca. You are young, but try to make less serious ones.
And if I fail at this request, I will be happy to take the fall for the family rather than the whole family.
If you fail, if you truly fail, you're my daughter. I will never let that happen. However, well, my good friend Miguel, he has a son. It's in Eastern Province, near the borders.
Right.
Yes. And I know how little you want to be just a wife. But it is safe, and you would be out of the way.
And I won't fail then.
Excellent. I don't think he's particularly good looking.
Bad news for the grandchildren.
I doubt I'd meet them.
Anything else, sir?
No, that'll be all. Thank you.
She'll bow her head and leave. Are the attendants outside?
Yes.
Yeah. I'll just walk past him. I won't acknowledge.
Damn, Dad. Also,
Damn.
good scene. Well done. That was awesome.
I mean, your dad's a great guy. He's a really cool guy.
He's a cool guy.
He loves you very much.
We love that. Yeah.
Yeah, that was particularly horrific, but I really liked seeing that side of Bianca, getting that extra bit more. That was really good.
You know what? I got to give. We should have stopped the session. You know what? I really like. I actually really liked that you, even if in that moment that's all it was, that you copped it on the chin.
Yeah.
That 9 times out of 10 in a role play, the predilection as a person is to be like, I'm not letting myself get talked to like that, and then to fight back.
Yeah.
But I was like, well, that's probably what realistically someone would do in that situation. So I was like, oh,
when you think about history and upbringing, and it's
That was really, really well played. That was great.
So that leaves one more person.
Lucky
Can this episode be called Actions Have Consequences?
Another one.
Yeah.
Is that a fun name for the
Maybe
episode?
just consequences.
Actions.
That's just dramatic.
Yeah.
So, Lorenzo, we'll pick up a little bit earlier. Thrown out onto the castle grounds, rolling a few steps down the hill, shaking, weak, injured, feeling sick, vomit, poopy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Disoriented vision.
You can have a knack or a grit
Oh,
if
thank
they're
you.
not full.
Yeah, I'll take a grit back.
Good point, Bella.
A knack back, yeah. Cool.
You were rewarded for that scene.
I was rewarded.
I mean, your
for
scene was also
shaking
really
in
good, but
my
everyone
boots.
complimented it. So, what's going through your mind?
Oh my
Take
god!
us through, Lorenzo.
So much. I would say quite a lot would be going through Lorenzo's mind were it not inhibited by the fact that he is overwhelmingly unwell. And also disoriented not only like physically due to his illness, his poison, but psychologically that he's drank this thing twice now. And just from the way you described it the first time, like there's just something deep in the pit of his soul that just feels like, what have I done? Like in so many ways.
Twice on the same day.
I will also say, make an insight check. And you're injured, so you shouldn't get the extra one. But I'm going to give it to you in this instance because it will make sense. So you can have your skill as well.
There is no such thing as insight.
Intuition. I would say insight.
There is no such
I'm
thing.
looking.
Intuition.
Okay. All right.
I don't want to say it.
He's poisoned.
Yeah.
So you have one less dice. I'll take that one dice off you.
Sorry.
No, fair enough. I got 4.
Four successes. Yeah, you were poisoned. Yeah, so the reason I gave you both is this is your understanding of your degradation. It's sort of such an innate sense to your physicality and your being that even being injured doesn't impede your ability to make this check. It's kind of a innate understanding of what's happening to you.
Is this relating to the potion or the
All together.
poison thing? Okay.
And you realize that with 4 successes, really good, you realize that the potion has actively made your sickness much worse.
Really?
So basically, you aren't a scientist, you aren't an alchemist, you don't understand how the body works, but you know that from swimming in the water, you were pretty fine and it was pretty quick, and you don't even realize that that's maybe what made you sick, but you only started feeling sick after you drank the potion the first time. That's where you started getting a queasy gut and you felt funny. And after this second one, you went from like feeling sick and having diarrhea and feeling really physically uncomfortable to now that you're laying out here, you're shaking, you're drenched in sweat, you vomited for the first time, you feel like wrung out. You feel like literally wrung out from this.
Arvin, sorry.
I do have to out of character. I don't want Murray to be too concerned. So this is completely meta. So none of your characters understand this.
Meta sneak peek.
But basically the potion seems to be working, or the elixir seems to be working, and an element of that is it's sort of hyper catalyzing and activating the body's natural healing. So effectively with an infectious disease that actually a bacterial infection that is affected by dehydration, you're like hyper accelerating your body. So you're burning your resources, you're burning your energy, you're burning your water reserves, and you're using it all. So it basically has like been like 3 days worth of healing. Okay, that just happened in 1 minute, and that expended physical energy to do that. So that's why it's advanced his illness. It's not like some side effect of the thing that's killing him. Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
Lorenzo is just trying to get to the guild, but not. It's hard to really state how. Like, I think there's a degree to which his illness and the extremity of the 24 hours preceding the whole event had impacted his actions. It certainly wasn't himself. And so now having all of this playing out, like the last 48 hours, having literally just recovered from or pulled out of a nosedive of a personal crisis, this is like so much worse. Like, because it's like he had something to hold on to after that, but he really doesn't feel like he's got much after this. Like he hopes that he helped, he demonstrated it, but also there is something deep within him that knows what he did was really not helpful and wrong. And so he's filled with quite a lot of shame. And so he's just trying to get back to the guild to get a few things and just go somewhere, I don't know, just like, or collapse and see if, I don't know, see what happens.
Make a survival check.
Yeah. Okay.
All your penalties apply.
Yep.
Because you got 1 dice.
I got 2.
2 dice. So you're poisoned and you don't have a
I got
trait.
2.
Okay. 2 successes off 2 dice. You should have only had 1 dice.
I have 2 survival.
You're poisoned. Poison is -1 from all dice. So you get 1 success. I mean, you get 2.
Forgot about the point. Yeah. Okay.
So,
Oh, but I'm not injured.
yes. Oh, you're no longer
not-
injured.
I'm not
You're
injured.
right.
I'm
yeah,
not
because the
injured.
potion
Yeah,
cured
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
injured. Yeah,
So
sorry.
it
I forgot that the
actually-
potion cured the injured.
So actually, we're
Okay,
full
you can
dice.
reroll. You can take 2 successes or you can reroll 4 dice. Your choice.
Let's reroll for those. 2. There you
Okay.
go. Meant to be.
So, you stumble back to the guild. You don't realize it, but it takes you a couple of hours. A 20-minute walk takes you about 2 hours. And you don't realize it because, like, your memory of the journey is by the time you arrive at the guild, your memory of even leaving it's so hazy. It's
Yeah.
like that delusional, sort of semi-hallucinating, really sick. You were stumbling. You probably stopped and caught your breath like a dozen times. And you sort of fumble through the front door of the guild.
What does Lorenzo think in terms? Like, does he feel like he's dying? Realistically,
Yes.
I figured as much. And with that being
Whether
the
you are
case-
or not is irrelevant, but it's like when you have that horrible fever and you're like, oh my God, am I dying?
This
like,
is death.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is death. Yeah.
Lorenzo has only seen. He hasn't seen himself, but he has memories of seeing someone that looks like they are in this sort of pain once. And it was his mother. And he just has this feeling that it's going to go the same way. And he's in a way, he's conflicted in that, like, no one wants to die. But at the same time, what's going through his mind is like, truly, maybe that was the last time he felt accepted by someone. And like, he wasn't a screw up. Was when he had his mother around. Though Lorenzo had thrown his sketchbook on the fire, he still had, from a lifetime of having been a secret little artist, he remembers at the back of his mind, he has some sketches from a long time ago of his mother that he drew that are sort of stashed away deep in his personal things. All he wants to do right now, he can't think of going anywhere beyond collapsing on a bed in his room, and he thinks that's where he'll die. So he's going to claw his way into his room. He's going to dig out those pictures if he can make it, and he's just going to hold a couple of those as the last thing he wants to see, thinking maybe he'll join her, or maybe it'll give him courage to face it as she did.
Make a resilience check.
Resistance?
Yeah, same thing, but not D&D.
Okay. All right.
Or is resilience even D&D?
You can have a resilient feat.
Is that, I must be a World of Darkness. It'll blend.
It's something.
I got 1. I have 2 grit
And-
I'm willing to use.
Your consciousness slips away.
Where am I?
Flashes of... Well, you're
I'm in
unconscious. You're in bed. You make it to
Okay.
bed. You crawl to your bed.
I'm like, do those things happen?
You grab the picture. You
Yeah,
look
yeah.
at it, and then you kind of like everything just turns into that murky
Yeah.
mess. There's no one in the guild. Everyone was gone. It's silent. You hear every now and then a start and your children laughing in the street, and then you're like, what is that? And nothing fades away. A cold wash across your head. What is that? You don't know. You're delirious. Another splash. You're definitely wet. Your eyes slowly open. Consciousness returned. You feel really sick. You're laying in a pool of your own sweat. A pool. Something is pressing into your lips. It's a bottle. Do you resist?
No.
Water pours into your mouth, and in your half-conscious eyes, they drop, and you see a tiny porcelain sphere pressing this bottle into your face. And while your brain doesn't really catch it, you realize this just seems natural to this thing. This seems like this kind of caregiving of people who don't care about themselves and lead themselves to horrible situations in this guild has happened more than once. And this little golem often makes people drink water and eat sandwiches when they don't otherwise.
I resent something.
You take a mouthful and then you hear, "He's awake." Who is at the guild? The time, 7 o'clock in the evening.
You're asking who?
Yeah, I'm asking who's at the guild. The convention's over. You've packed up and gone home. Have you gone home for the night? Everyone is aware Lorenzo is sleeping in his bed. That was discovered upon your arrival, but no one has disturbed him. A ticket has been wandering around like a weirdo grabbing water and stuff.
Roughly what time would we have left the...
You left earlier due to not wanting to be seen after that display, I would
I would have
imagine.
made a detour though, so I'm not sure whether I would have come back by now.
Up to you. You would have been like 3 in the afternoon, so you would have had plenty of time for that detour.
Okay, cool.
If you would you like to be there?
It's hard to know without knowing how the detour goes.
Then we go to the detour.
But I'm happy to.
Let's go to the detour. The detour. I think I know what the detour is.
Yes,
So we're gonna. So, Leone, would you have just headed back with the guild?
Yeah, I would have. Yeah.
And would you have gone home or waited for Lorenzo to wake up?
I would wait until, if it's 7 o'clock, I'll wait around, yeah.
You would have got back at like 5:30. And Arvin, did you head back to the guild?
Yes, I would have headed back whatever the time frame was, but I don't know if I would have gone directly there. I think I would have sort of meandered slyly, maybe stopped by like one of the quote-unquote rivers and just sort of like thought about what I'd done, whether it was truly the right idea and, whether I do truly mean to stick by my guns, as they were, and commit to all this, and then I'll head to the to the All Trades Assembly. I imagine at some point,
Again,
Tigger's doing something.
A lot earlier. I'm just going to say, for the sake of convenience, unless you had a particular impetus to do something, you probably had a lot to do with your alchemy, and there was zero indication that Lorenzo was there. He kind of crawled into his bedroom and disappeared and fell unconscious.
Would I have noticed a ticket doing anything?
You make an acuity check.
Okay.
There's tickets often just wandering around the place. But
2.
Yeah, sure. You notice the ticket. I'm going to say you don't notice his exact activity, but you notice he is A, more active than usual, and B, not present. Like you hear him moving about a bunch and not in your room, which does occasionally happen, but he's not in your room. He's doing stuff. At a certain point, like an hour or two, probably an hour after you arrive, he's sort of just like doing stuff, and you can hear him wandering back and forth.
Yeah, if I see him, like actually come across him, I'll sort of like inquire, what he's up to. Does he give any sort of indication or anything?
He holds a bottle of water over his head.
Okay.
Or at this time, maybe like a cloth. Just holds it up in the sky.
Oh. All right. think I think Arvin can possibly deduce cloth and cleaning with particularly someone who might need it. I'm just gonna ask him, is that for Lorenzo, perchance?
Ticket stands motionless. And
It leans forward, and then it just drops the cloth on the floor, and it goes on the ground, and it just turns around and walks off.
All right.
Like out of the attic?
Yeah, it just walks away.
If that was ever code for I got out of this now, then I don't know what is. I'm going to pick up the cloth and maybe go see about my friend who aided me horrendously with a detriment to himself.
To preserve statements already made, you would have arrived and found Lorenzo in his room, unconscious and feverish, which you then would have.
All right. I think I want to check him very briefly to see if he is in fact, okay, and then sort of
make an investigation check.
Of course.
You can also do investigation wisdom if you'd like.
Yeah. Also, somewhat trusting Ticket's perhaps intake of the situation. But, if he's just administering towels, then something's probably okay-ish. Investigation, you say? My God. 4.
He is feverish. He is losing a lot of water. His collar, his humors are completely out of balance. He seems to have a massive lack of blood because he's pale. You just imagine he's completely out of alignment, bilious even, with the slight yellowing of his skin. He is in a pool. He has continued to make a mess of things in his bed, even while being unconscious. And he's also vomited while being unconscious, but he's laying in like the recovery position, thankfully. And it's just kind of made a mess. And he has no bodily control of it. And it's not, when I describe these things, it does not appear like he's got diarrhea. It's like basically just water and like foamy white water. It's just all liquid and he's just in this mess. And you can see that there is a little cup and water on the side of his bed, and he's got a now very hot towel sitting on his forehead.
Cool. Yeah, I'm going to administer my own towel, look after him for a little bit, and then I think I'll stand up and perhaps to Lorenzo, perhaps to myself, perhaps to no one in particular, sort of declare openly, okay, time to look out for someone other than myself. I think I know someone who might be able to help. I'll be right back, Lorenzo. Thank you. You may not realize it, but you may have prevented things potentially being worse. Somehow, if you can believe that. Hold on. I'm going to leave the All Trades Assembly in pursuit of something.
I think I know what that is, but it's going to take you away from it.
Yep.
But we do have a detour from Bianca.
From Bianca?
Where are you going?
Bianca.
Well, to Bianca. This is before she arrives. So that means Arvin is going to be out, and he'll be out for the duration of the evening. And we'll cover what you do next session, I believe. But there's a few things I do want to cover this session. And Bianca.
Bianca is going to go fetch her horse. And then she would try and locate Cosimo.
Make a check that is either knowledge or intuition. Your choice. You can either feel where you think he'd be, or you can like remember his patrol route. Oh, that was weird.
Hello.
I think it's the mic
To headphones.
catching how loud my headphones are and going, whoa, put them back on.
I'm gonna go for intuition for vibes.
This
And
is
she's not really
intention.
thinking super logically as well. I don't think it is nighttime.
You said it was
But
like
you can do
7.
it for the
Afternoon
vibe.
now. This is
Afternoon?
beforehand. This is
Daylight
Bianca has left.
savings.
So you are in the same camp. So you're probably doing that about like 4 or 5 o'clock,
Okay.
and then you leave to go. How
All
many
good.
did you get?
I go 3.
3 successes.
Nice.
You used your vibes.
Yeah. In vibe sense. Vibe check.
Something settled in your head that just said, whenever the two of you growing up had something, you just always seem to go. So like to the north side of Allegrano, outside the fences where the rivers run, there is an area, it's like a brook where part of the river just forks off, just a really small part forks off and goes down and makes, there's a little lake there. There's some trees around it. It's quite close to the town, quite safe, but it's also a little bit of a quiet area on the edge of town. And almost instinct guiding you, you just go there because that's where you always used to go when you were a kid.
Yeah. Well, almost like she lets her horse Snowstorm kind of guide her, and I guess maybe that's where the horse
Maybe that's why it
goes.
happens.
Yeah.
But you go there on a whim, like, you know,
Yeah.
it's not going to be there. And when you rock up, when you're within visual range, you see his horse tied up out the front, like on a tree in the path that leads in. It gets a little bit too right. Well, you could take a horse in there, but it's annoying to get them out.
So where is this inside? What's the inside?
It's just
you're
a
talking
little.
about?
It's a little. It's sort of a little ring of trees where it's like a little. It's not a forest. It's like a little offshoot. What do you call it? A
Glade?
detached little glade. So there's farms and stuff all around, but there's just this little lake that's very small. It's almost more of a pond, very peaceful, but it's surrounded by maybe 100 trees. Like it's a small patch of forest, but yeah, and it kind of gives you a bit of seclusion. And yeah, he's
I
sort of
will.
pushing.
I assume his horse is here.
Yeah, his
So
horse is tied up there.
I'll dismount and tie my horse up next to it and give his horse a little pat. And then head in to try and see if what he's doing.
Cool.
Kind of quietly. I won't storm in.
Make a stealth check. Out of interest.
Why you never say you do it
Challenge level
quietly,
3?
guys.
Well, I mean, it's not like you're trying to sneak up on him, but does he notice you coming? He got 3 successes.
I got 1. Definitely hears me.
So
I'm too used to clip clopping.
you walk in. The size of everything's a bit different to the last time you were here. You actually haven't been here in a while. And break a branch as you walk in. And you see right over at the edge, sitting on a log and like kicking stones into the water with his hat sitting on the log beside him. Cosimo is kind of like hunched over, his elbows on his knees, looking into the water. And as the twig cracks, he sort of sits up straight and cranes his head a little bit. Who's there?
Hard at work, I see.
Bianca. Fancy seeing you here. And he turns. He doesn't get up.
Well, I still remember where to go when I need to get away. I see you do too.
Yeah, I come here a lot, actually.
You weren't at the expo.
No. I'm not really interested in being with the nobility right now, you know?
Well, is my presence unwelcome then?
Your presence is always welcome, Bianca. He smiles.
I'll kind of come
Make an
over.
intuition check.
You said it right this time.
I try.
3.
Yeah, 3 successes. It's a false smile.
Yeah.
But not because he doesn't necessarily want you there, but he's putting on a show.
Yeah. I'll come and like she'll kind of awkwardly sit down in the least dirty patch that she can find.
He actually gets his hat and brushes off part of the log next to him.
Thank you.
So, what's eating you, old friend?
Father, as usual.
The kind of, usual thing, or are we talking bigger than that?
I think maybe the biggest it's ever been.
What happened?
I'm honestly glad you don't know, so maybe keep it that way for now.
Oh.
A debacle at the expo.
He looks up, face widens to like make a joke immediately, and he locks eyes with you, and then he just his mouth just closes, and he goes, "Okay. Do you want to talk about it?"
I'd love to ask you a theoretical.
Yeah.
If you could have everything you ever wanted, and all it cost was me losing my job in the Cavaliers and a few other of your friends.
If I could have
Yes.
Yeah?
Would you take it?
I have everything I want, and you lose your job?
Yes.
Just you?
And a bunch of other friends. I know you're friendly with people.
Let me tell you. Let me ask. How much does being a Cavalier mean to you?
It's my path.
And who said it was your path?
Well, it's clear academia wasn't for me, and nothing else I liked was appropriate, so sword fighting it is.
Yeah, you do seem to like making sure things are appropriate, hey? Yeah. So again, how much does it matter to you?
It's all I know at the moment.
You've not answered me a few times now.
So everything. I think.
He looks down and kicks a rock into the water. And no, I wouldn't do it.
You wouldn't?
No, of course not. I would never do anything that would cost you something so important.
What if it lost you?
Lost
What was
me-
important to you?
Well, that's the thing. Sounds like it would be doing that. I don't know.
Is being a cavalier all you ever wanted?
No. No. Not even almost. I'm
But
just
you're
good
so
at it.
good at it.
I told you. Exactly. I'm a natural.
I didn't say that if anyone asked.
No, it's not what I want.
What do you want?
Kicks another rock. I just want... gosh, it's stupid. I mean, what I want you can't have, you know?
Seems like that sometimes, doesn't it? It's all the world telling you what you can't have, what you can't do.
You know what I really want? And he picks up a stick. And he snaps it in half. Is I want all the world to just be... He throws the stick at you.
Try and catch it.
I mean, underhand throws
Oh, okay.
it, so you catch it pretty well. He says, "It's for you and me to run around this pond and fight and be heroes, and it to be that simple again, you know?
We're not kids anymore, are we?
No, and we're not heroes either. I thought that's what it meant, you know, to wear this."
Me too. That's what my brother always said.
Well, he was better at killing then. You never saw that, though. He's a good man. He's a good man. He's a great man, but I saw what they did. So, sounds like we're talking a lot more about what my problems are than...
No, you haven't. Sorry, I didn't mean to intrude on your river time. What are you escaping from something?
Oh, no. I'm just reminiscing about the time where things were simpler with Bianca de Guela and Cosimo Ricci.
Nothing simple with Bianca Tequila.
No, that's right. So, can I help with anything?
No, I think you have.
Well, look, if you ever do have to, make people lose their jobs or something, you said, what would you do? You asked
It was a theoretical.
if I could theoretical. You can have everything you want, but I lose my job. And, finally there's someone just not above you and better than you anymore. But,
I think you'd be happy to lose your job.
oh no, it's all I'm good at.
That's not true.
So,
I've seen you on the dance floor.
is that an admission that you think I can dance? And yet you always refuse me.
Well, so I don't want to be in that shadow,
I think we'd make a pretty good shadow together.
Stop.
Okay. As always, my wish is your command. And he gives a small bow.
I don't know what I'd do in answer. That's why it's a theoretical. To see what other people would do.
Well, I say, screw it. If it's my opinion, you throw me under the bus, you be happy.
I'd wonder if I would be happy.
Let me know if you make your decision.
You'll know. And she'll kind of get up. Till next patrol then.
I look forward to it.
And I'll head off back.
Cool.
Back to the guild.
And then do you arrive at the guild?
I will.
As we fast track to the guild at 7 o'clock with
Whoa,
Lorenzo awaking to a room of people that, after Ilio calls,
What is Cosimo doing in the guild? Get out.
gather around.
Here we go.
And Lorenzo, you are conscious and capable enough to communicate.
Who's in the room?
Pretty much the important members of the guild. In fact, I'm going to say Dolorosa, Ilio, and Leone. And is Bianca there?
Once I hear commotion, I'll probably go in.
And Bianca steps in. And Libero is probably too old to bend his knees and get up.
Yeah. I thought I was going to die, and
You still might.
That would be easier than this. He sort of says, looking at the room of eyes.
How are you feeling?
Like death in many ways.
You see, all of you, by the way, since the guild has got home, Dolorosa has set a bunch of burning small braziers of flowers and scent sticks and compacted scents, and the whole room is it's like walking into a perfume shop. It's like bombarding your face when you enter.
Heavy scents.
Extremely strong smells.
I say it's instinct. Lorenzo would have been sort of clutching the picture to his chest, but seeing that he's not alone, he tries to surreptitiously tuck it out of anyone else.
It's a little bit wet.
Oh.
Doesn't matter. It's
Just sweaty.
that's fine.
It just flops and sags.
It's probably vellum, so it'll be fine.
Okay.
You'll probably have important things to spend your time on. Fixing my mess. Well, not mess, but I'm sorry, Arvin.
He's not here.
Isn't he? And I literally look around.
His little pet ticket has not left your side.
Is that what that was? And I'll look over at Ticket.
Ticket's still there. Pushes another bottle of water towards your face to drink water.
Interesting. I'm not sure I know what to say. And he just sort of bows his head in clearly shame.
Now, say your piece.
I hope you get better soon. If there's anything that we can do for you, just let us know.
Thank you, Leonie. I appreciate it.
There's a pat on the back of Elio as Dolorosa like shunts him forward, and he steps forward like looking very diminutive and looking down to the ground. He's very timid, which is very unusual after he called. Then he says, I love you, Lorenzo. And then he runs out of the room, and he starts crying as soon as he runs out of the room.
Why did that get me? It's always the
Kids,
children.
man. Kids. And because he has seen a lot of death, and he knows what it looks like. Which also hit me hard because it makes me sad. Okay, so we're human.
Bianca will take that moment as Ilya runs out to subtly leave as well. I will return, but just keep going.
So who's in the room? Ticket and Dolorosa. And
Leone?
And Leone.
Leone. And
That's it.
our old man's not in there?
Nah,
Okay.
Is Amelie there?
Amelie is not in there.
Okay.
Leone, do you have anything else to say?
No? Should I?
Can I have a moment?
Oh, of course. I grab ticket. Leaving.
So, the door shuts. You're alone with Dolorosa.
I'll be heading home.
Lorenzo's keeping his eyes tightly shut because he is more comforted by seeing nothing than seeing Dolorosa. And when the silence has lingered long enough, he eventually says, "This is how my mother died, you know. My father said it should have been me, and all these years later it is, and part of me thinks he would like to see me like this. Maybe that would finally make him happy."
Well, you might. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. You look like shit. She says that. You don't hear her swear. So it's like almost like felt like an uncomfortable word in her mouth. Lorenzo, you are... It is hard, but you force my hand. But you are sick. Arvin, I think, has gone to find some kind of cure. I don't know if you will remember this conversation, but it needs to be said. Last night you walked into my studio. You told me you had matured. You told me you were giving away your frivolous passions to focus on your work. You assured me, in your words. And she pulls up like her journal. She like is meticulous with everything. And she's holding it on a page already. This would be the last of my frivolous impulses. I will be wise, practical, and learn from my mistake. Do you remember saying these words?
I do, and I wish I could be the one I wanted to be. I could picture it in my head so clearly when I said them. I meant it. But
You are
perhaps-
sick. You are sick. And I am going to assume that it addled your brain before you acted. I've seen many people do many things with a fever. Now I must confess, you have made me furious. You enrage me with your wasted talent. You have embarrassed the guild in a manner in which I'm not certain we can recover. In front of nobility, in front of the Duke, the Steward, the emissaries from the War Mason herself. Bedrock below, half the collected guilds in Algrano were there. They all saw your little display. At best, an appalling way to gain attention, grisly, violent, unpleasant, and unsuitable. What if the princess had been there? What if the little prince had seen from the window? Amelie has told me you were sick. She has made me promise. And she had to pay for that promise, I tell you. Yeah, I'm getting a massage. She actually crooks a little half smile. That I would go easy on you.
I wish you wouldn't, truly.
No.
Your scolding would be a balm. It would distract me from the harshness of my own thoughts.
Be like Ilio. Think in smiles and happiness and not wallowing in your regrets, because it won't do you service, and you certainly will lose one of the assets that actually makes you enjoyable to be around, which is your optimism. And if we can rely on nothing else, at least we can rely on Lorenzo's optimism. You, for a while, have been the hope, the spark that this guild might survive, that someone on this earth might have inherited my... Well, there must be gods, for my talent could only have been given by them, and from my arm, she pats her missing arm, somehow they graced you with my hand.
What?
You will act like you forget I told you this, but you are the best gods. Not that I believe in them, but hey, for the sake of the analogy, gods damned linesmen I've seen in a generation. So, don't wallow, don't give up. But, in saying all of that, here is the letter that I wrote. It says, I have no further recourse, Lorenzo. You have tied my hands. You have forced me to squander your talent. Your tuition and your place in this guild is revoked. You are no longer an apprentice of the Old Trades Assembly. You have, and should you have nowhere else to go, you can stay on as a laborer, quiet with your head bowed in shame until you have earned a coin fit to return home in failure to your father, who, from my understanding, will be glad to see it. Sometimes I wish I had my arm back. It would be more graceful than this. And she puts the paper in her teeth and then tears it in half and drops the two halves onto the ground. That is the letter I wrote before Amelie promised me special weekend time. To go easy on you.
But I understand. It's clearer than it has ever been that I was always meant to go home. I was always going to fail at this.
Can you start taking my lessons? I just said, do not wallow. It might make me forget how good our massages are. A torn letter can still be put back together. So, Lorenzo, you sick, stupid little boy. Here is what is going to happen. I wanted to write that letter. I wanted to kick you from the guild and protect and preserve our honor as a guild. But here is the thing, Lorenzo. We have no honor. We're a joke. We're the laughing stock of Allegrano. If this isn't the dumping ground of the failures of the city, what else is look at us. We are delusional. We are beyond our years, beyond our competency, and, well, deranged. Your friend who you spend time with has not basically left his goddamn room. Again with that. There might be a faith budging in me, a faith born of optimists like you. He's never been the same since his friend died. We've never been the same. Until you came back with your smile and your cheer and your stupidly handsome face. Why? Why have you got the geometry of a statue? I swear if I was attracted to big lumps of meat like you and a younger woman... But, thankfully, I'm not interested in gorillas. So,
Change border of that one.
here is what is going to happen. Your pin, your jacket, your position in the guild as an apprentice is suspended for 1 month. And for that month, the guild dues, the tuition that you pay, that you work your hands to the bone for, that pays the debt that I know you owe. I see you're not buying things and smuggling it away. Whatever that is for, that tuition, that pays the Bright Star. For your mistake, is going to give opportunity. Leone gets your pin. You are paying her tuition. For 1 month, that little cleaner, that Bright Star, is going to get a chance to prove herself because I know she can't afford to pay. And you will be a laborer. You will work. You will learn to keep your head down. You will learn to listen. You will learn from your friends. You will learn from Procco and Blompy. And you will...
They are very humble.
And at the end of your month, should you have behaved yourself, should you have shown exemplary commitment to the guild, I will reinstate you. And hopefully Leone will say thank you for the time, and she won't feel too grumpy about the fact that she's not a guild member anymore, but until she can pay her damn dues, she's not getting to be one. I don't break rules for no one, and there's holes in the roof that need to be fixed, so... Is that a deal?
It is, and though I'm certain I won't remember much of this conversation, just know that it truly means so much to me.
Good. I'm glad my words have an effect at last. Now, get some rest. Arvin will be back with a cure because when he finally realizes to pull the stick out of his own ass and focus on something outside of his disgustingly filthy room, he is a charming boy and he cares very deeply. I'm sure he'll find a solution. If he doesn't, you might just get better on your own. So, rest. Drink. Do not get too close to anyone because your miasma might sicken them. And we will keep checking on you.
Yes, mistress.
Okay. Now I'm going to leave. I'm going to leave the door open. Everyone is listening outside. And I would like you to say, I'm sorry I'm such a big, stupid idiot. Just loud enough for Elio to hear, okay?
Yes, mistress.
Make it feel like you're going to be okay when you say it, okay?
Okay.
And then she walks out of the room.
I'm sorry I'm such a big, stupid idiot.
And you hear a muffled little laugh from behind a hand that's clearly a child. And like that little upset, like...
Lorenzo feels like a miracle has happened that he just was not expecting. He was expecting to be engulfed by darkness and somehow was woken up by little sparks of light. That somehow, though he's in a pool of wet, have reignited something deep down in him. And as he sort of is bewildered by that, he pulls the picture out, which is beside the feather he keeps in his vest, and he sort of folds them up together and puts them away to dry and turns over to sleep.
And that is where you all know I think we're going to have to leave it.
Thank you so much for joining the LUCEVERA.
How do you still have energy?
Episode.
It's been holding it in this whole time.
Hey, thank you to our patrons.
Thank you, patrons,
There you
for
go.
making this possible.
Just like Lorenzo's good health.
And that is how you spin shit into God.
Yeah.
That was a joke about literal poo.
Good episode
Yeah.
title. Love that.
Literal poo.
Yeah,
Yes.
good episode
Yeah.
title.
I like
That was
consequences.
weirdly cathartic.
I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
I'm glad all that happened. That was good.
Right? Sometimes you just roll with the punches and it turns out okay.
You're a guildsman! Yay!
Huh? What?
You're in the guild.
You will be.
Big moment for
Yay!
For a month. You get to do it's like a work experience.
That's something.
All right, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye. Have a beautiful time.
Goodbye.